It's vivid, I'm living up in this nightmare.
Who is that?
You see it?
It's vivid, I'm living up in this nightmare. Bring it back. It's vivid, I'm living up in this nightmare. We're killing them after cuffing, it's quite fair. Democratic, Republican fight, yeah. I'm living up in this nightmare. Nightmare.
I don't wanna wait.
It's vivid, I'm living up in this nightmare. 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 It's vivid, I'm living up in this nightmare. It's vivid, I'm living up in this nightmare. What's up, guys? It is none other than your boy JGiddins, the father. As usual, I just want to start off by reminding you guys to be positive, optimistic, and keep positive people in your circle, as those three things are key to ensuring positivity is invited in your future. Now, today I really just wanted to by the way, this hat, Make America Think Harder. This is for Andrew Yang, who is a candidate running for the 2020 presidential election. I would highly recommend that you look him up if you have not. But again, today's video, I really just wanted to do a video surrounding a message to black fathers, right? Because there's a lot of stipulation and stigma, if you will, surrounding the black community as it relates to black fathers. I'm a black father. I was born in '86, and I'm saying this just to kind of set perspective for you guys. I have 4 children. My oldest is JGiddins. He's 10 years old. Next to Journey is Justice Giddins. She's 6 years old. Then I have Gerald Giddins Jr., who is my son. He is 1 year old. And then I have a newborn, Jade Giddins, who was born on January 4th of 2020 this year. And being a father means the world to me. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't even imagine what life would be like if I was not a father. You know, I think a lot of times I think back to what life was before I became a father, and I just wonder, like, what the hell was I doing? You know what I mean? Like, what was I doing with life? What was my purpose? What was the reason that I was here? You know, you live, you wake up, you get a nice job, you go to work, maybe, you know, hit a bar or party a little bit, you know, go home, go to sleep, and then wake up and do the same thing. Maybe add a vacation here and there. And then you die. And then what? You know what I mean? And when you have children, it just completely changes your perspective on that. Now, the reason I decided to make a video catered towards black fathers, or supporting a message delivered directly to black fathers, is because that concept that I just discussed with you is not promoted in the black community. And there's not a whole lot of reason for us as black men to feel like that is a reasonable concept or a reasonable ideology as it relates to fatherhood or fathering, you know. And I've talked about this on other interviews, on, you know, a radio station interview that I did, you know, other videos that I have. I've went in and touched on this a little bit, but this is directly talking to black fathers. If you're a black father, I'm talking to you, specifically those who may be struggling with parenting or with fathering. And I want you to know that it's okay. I understand. You know, when I had my first daughter, it was scary, you know, because you're not really taught how to be a father, but you're expected to be one. You understand what I mean? It's crazy. Like, you know, growing up, I didn't have my father. You know what I mean? I didn't really know many people who had their father. It wasn't like a commonality in the area that I grew up in. I grew up in Baltimore City, by the way. And I don't think that Baltimore City is any different than a lot of the other urban cities out there that are the result of desegregation while oppressive policies are still in place. Remnants of oppression, if you will. I would highly recommend that you guys check out that video. It'll explain how the system sort of helps the things that I'm discussing with you exist. So this is not your fault, fathers, when I'm talking to you, and I'm saying that, you know, we got to do better, and we fail in a lot of cases, not just as fathers, but as black men in general. I don't want you to take it to heart or take anything personal, because this is by design. This is not accident. Men don't, black strong men don't become the weaklings that a lot of us are by accident. That's design. But anyways, again, I just want to say to my black fathers out there that what you have to do, definitely at some point, I talked about this in the other video that I did, giving advice for child support and child custody. You have to understand that at some point you have to make a decision as to whether or not your life is going to be about your child or about you. Because you can't have it both ways. And I know that there are some people who will tell you that, and I'm sorry that those people will tell you that. That's the best that I could do for those who feel that way. But you can't have both, because you can integrate them and you can make your child a part of you, but you can't have just you and be an excellent parent, because your child is a part of you. You have to understand that your child literally comes from you, and I feel like the way that society, women, I'm not gonna place this all on women because I don't want to make this like a woman bashing theme or anything, because I love women. I love I love the idea of a good mom, but a lot of times men are not given the proper respect and the proper value in terms of the creation and production of a child. Yes, a woman does carry the child for 9 months and give birth to the child, but we have to understand science, understand the way this works. The living part of the creation of a child comes from the man. The woman is a house. The man is the seed, right? So this is a moving creature that goes to the woman and then grows inside of her. But it exists in us right now. Right now in you. You have millions of them in you, right? That's where they start. So and I'm not saying that either side is more important than the other, but I think that to say, well, she carried them for 9 months, so that's her child, which a lot of women have the idea of. They just feel like, this is my child because I gave birth to them, they grew up in me. But you couldn't have done that had we not given you a sperm cell. Like, you can't create that. You know what I mean? And I'm saying all this not to argue whether or not a man or woman is more important or who plays the bigger role in reproduction. I'm saying this because that ideology is what men associate their value to their child as. And this is why we have to understand our value in the creation of a child, so that we can understand our value in the raising of a child, in the supporting of a child. For some reason, this child support thing, which has destroyed the black community. I mean, destroyed the black community. Child support is not a bad thing, and neither are guns, right? But when you put them into the hands of the wrong person, or you use them in the wrong way, or you abuse them, or you become punitive with it, then child support is a major issue, which it is in our community. And this is why, one, I'm not going to go into detail about that, but I would highly recommend, especially to my black fathers out there, that you look at my other video where I explain in detail child support and child custody as it relates to your child. If you are a struggling father who would like to support your child rather than paying someone else to support your child, which I feel like is a cop-out. And brings me back to my original premise of this video, which is we have to decide as men whether or not we want to support our child or we want to pay somebody else to support our child. I have been homeless with my daughters before. Just me and my daughters. I've been homeless with my daughters before, taking care of them. I have had a nice house with my daughters where they each had their own room and had a playroom and had a pool out back. I have taken my daughters to and from school, taking them to the doctors on my own, supporting them, right? After you do these things, it makes you look at parenting completely differently, and it changes something in your mind, and it gives you a different mindset and a different value to what a father, it allocates a different value to a father in your mind once you've been through these things. And I really want every father to go through these things. If you have a child right now and you're on child support, my question is, why? Why? What are you not doing that would make you be on child support? Is it just the ideology that's promoted since childhood that the job of the father is to pay the mother to take care of the child? Is it your submission to the mother telling you, I am going to take care of my child and you're going to pay me to do that? Is it a lack of interest in wanting to be there to support the child? Or is it just a lack of knowledge and understanding of your own value as it relates to your child? I think a lot of men, especially black men, the latter option that I gave applies to. I think a lot of black men don't have fathers, and they don't have a reason to think that a father could fully support them. But I'm here to tell you it's a lie. I'm here to tell you it's doable. A man can get daycare and work a job and pick their kid up and fully support them. You just have to stop doing certain things like, maybe always wanting to chase after women, you know what I mean? Which this is not something that's only, on men. Like, there's no difference between a mother and a father. There are women out there who need to stop chasing guys so much. You need to stop having all these guys around their kids who, they struggle with the same things that you would as a father. It's just they are tasked with doing it, while men are tasked with, well, just let her do it and you go get a job, But you both have 50-50 equal responsibility in my eyes. It's just for some reason men always become submissive to the mother and just allow her to do it and think, well, she's more maternal. And I will say that in a lot of cases, women can be more maternal, but that's another level. That's another level of psychology and sociology in terms of the way the man has been raised, or the boy was raised, what his perspective on, life is, how he treats people. Men are more likely to be bullies, they say. I disagree, because I hear that women are horribly vindictive and mean people. So, I don't know. My goal is just to, I don't think that fathers understand their value, and I want to start the discussion, the conversation around the value of black men and why. And it's all men. I'm sorry, I don't want to make this about race, but it's targeted when it comes to black men. It's targeted because it's meant to kind of run hand in hand with oppressive policies that are in place. And again, my other video explains that more in depth. But I feel like fathers need to understand that they are important, that you do matter a lot. Things like, writing letters to your child, just doing small activities with them. There's some beads that my daughter wove together for me that she made a crocodile out of. I carry those everywhere with me. Shockingly, I don't have it on right now, but it's because I'm at home and I didn't leave. But it's attached to my keys, and I'll always have it with me. Even on a job interview, anywhere, I take it with me. If I'm not allowed to take that, I don't belong with you. I don't belong around you, because it is my attachment to my child, and we have to manufacture those things. As men, sometimes we don't have it in us to just have that maternal attachment to the child. But I feel that it's your obligation to do so. And if you don't feel it, you have to manufacture it. You have to create it. Watch videos on how to do special things to bond with your child, especially if you have daughters. It's easier if you have daughters, believe it or not, because they will fall in love with you. I can attest to this. I have 3 daughters. One who's only 4 weeks old at this point, or three or so weeks old. But my others, Journey and Justice, which are ages 10 and 6, they are in love with me. I mean, when I go to the bathroom, my daughters stand outside the bathroom and say, "Daddy, when are you coming out?" Like, you know what I mean? When I come home from work, they grab my leg. They don't want to let me go. And some of the same principles and ideologies that we apply to a relationship with a woman, with making her love you, can be applied to your children. And it should be, because it will ensure that they will always have a standard that they have for how they're treated growing up. A lot of women who allow themselves to be abused or neglected or mistreated were abused, neglected, or mistreated by their parents. And if your parent can do it to you, then of course anybody else can do it to you, right? And a lot of parents don't understand that they're treating their child like this is going to make the child think that it's okay for others to. You know, you may hear situations where there's a child who's being picked on in school and the parent gets mad at the child, like, why are you letting them pick on you? You better fight back. You ever think it's because you pick on them? You ever think it's because you do it to them and they have no way to fight back against you, so they feel powerless, and that spills over into other, intricacies of their life, other parts of their life. So again, the purpose of this video, in addition to giving some sound advice to fathers and just putting myself out there as a black father that I think is one that other fathers can look to, not only for advice but for leadership and for understanding of how a father's rights and values matter. I want to put that out there into the atmosphere. When you speak things, they exist. So that's what the purpose of this video was. If you're a black father, please follow me at JGiddins the Father on Instagram, JGiddins the Fat One on Twitter. I'll have this in my description or maybe pop it up as I'm speaking. And on Facebook, I have a Facebook page which is titled JGiddins the Father, and also my full name on Facebook is Gerald Jeremiah Giddins, and I would highly recommend that you guys follow me. I promote fatherhood, parenthood, and just humanity in general. I just want life to be better. I want everybody to understand that it can be. We're all beat down and thought and forced and thought to believe that life has to be this hard trial, that you have to have cuts and bruises and scars in order to be happy. And it's not necessary. It is necessary if you believe it to be. But we can change it. So again, I love you guys, man. If you're a father, if you're a black father especially, I love you, man. I want to let you know that right now. I love you. You are innocent until proven guilty in my eyes. And my goal is to have a conversation with you about fatherhood and see how we can dig into your life and see where we can manufacture happiness in a relationship with your child. I love you guys again. Please remember to be positive, optimistic, keep positive people in your circle. Those 3 things are key to ensuring positivity in your future. Don't be afraid to let go of someone who's bringing negativity to you. I know we hear this all the time. It sounds like, so cliche, like, oh, whatever. But seriously, don't be afraid to let go, move on. Just you and your child are all you need. And once you get that into your mindset, you'll understand and look back at the old you like, what was I doing? I promise you. All right. Make sure to follow me, support. Thank you to all my subscribers. Please subscribe. Please like the video because we need to get this kind of message out there. There's not enough talk about black fathers or lack thereof, and that's why they exist. Everybody's turning the other way. Imagine you walking down the street and seeing people get beat up and you just look the other way. You can't expect it to stop. We have to talk about this. So please share this video, like this video, tell any other fathers that you know about me, my page, about what I'm trying to do, about the relationship that can be had between a father and a child. Alright? That's all I got for you guys. Yang Gang, shout out to the Yang Gang. If you're not a part of Yang Gang, I would highly recommend that you join. We are a loving society. It's not all about politics. Whether you're aligned with me on politics or Democrat, it's really irrelevant. It's more about you understanding that we place humanity first in our lives. Alright? JGiddins out. I'll talk to you guys later.